Mark, you've had extensive experience as being a career consultant, an advisor, an expert. So what are some of the key attributes that someone should be looking for when they're hiring someone like yourself or working with a mentor?
Yeah, I think they want to hire somebody with experience that's seen a lot of different situations relative to building a talent pool in an organization. So I think they want to hire somebody who has experience in a particular industry or has helped a company grow from, 10x, their employee organization, or someone who has done talent performance or, 9-box, or kind of done the whole sort of talent management cycle, but also somebody who understands leadership and training, right? So they understand the other side of developing people and developing future leaders and high potentials and really certain cohorts of an organization. My experience is very broad when it comes to a lot of those different aspects. So whether it's new hires or onboarding, I can come in and build programs in that regard, or help companies motivate and develop those new hires, all the way up to the top of the house, which is executive coaching, leadership development, high potential programs. I've seen and everything in between, right? So there's a lot of, certainly cascading that goes on in an organization when it comes to different ways to develop talent, but I've seen it comprehensively. So I can quickly come in and build a program that's going to really scale an organization at a very fast pace.
Let's dive into that a little bit deeper. So say I am working for one of these Fortune 1000 companies. I'm in the C-suite, and I'm considering hiring you to be our career expert advisor. What are some of the things that you would tell me about yourself that make you stand out from maybe someone else that we might be looking at hiring?
Yeah, I'd want to better understand certainly what the talent strategy is at the organization. So I'd go out and do a little research, like I try to tell people to do all the time. And then I'd try to align that with some of the experiences I've had in that particular industry or in that particular size of the organization or the way the organization operates, right? So, based on the dynamic nature of that company, I try to find the right playbook or the right strategy or the right framework to bring to the table. So it usually starts with, again, some sort of assessment or some sort of introductory, piece of work. And then that can turn into some sort of engagement that would then be able to be implemented in different parts of the organization. So again, really good question, Lisa. Tough to give you a general broad answer, but what I would say is, I'm very good at quickly assessing what an organization's needs are from the perspective of developing their talent or acquiring their talent or, training their talent.
Mark, as a career expert, as an advisor, how would you help young professionals navigate career transitions?
Yeah, another great question. So young professionals don't always know exactly what the end game is, right? When you get your first job, it's probably not your last job. The days of us or our parents staying in the company for 30 years or 40 years are, very rare indeed. So you want those individuals to come in and get as much experience as they can and make the biggest impact they can in the time that they're there. The average Gen Z or Gen Y stays in a company for 2.5 years at the most, right? So there's a lot of transition that goes on early in someone's career. And if I'm coaching or I'm advising a young professional, it's learn as much as you can in a company, figure out what you really want to do from the standpoint of the type of company you want to work for. Whether it's industry, do you want to be in healthcare? Do you want to be in manufacturing? Do you want to be in finance? Do you want to be in government? You got to really try to figure that out early in your career, and then put the skills you've learned in those first roles and jobs and try to parlay those or scale those into the next role, whether it's a higher, level role, whether it's moving, whether it's, having the right fit. And until you find that fit, like I said earlier, and like I say all the time, it's a journey and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint when it comes to trying to figure out who you want to be when you're early in your career.
So, say that I am a young professional and you are consulting with me about my career, and I've got some real obstacles with some professional challenges in the workplace. What might be some tips or how you would advise me?
Yeah, so I'd advise you, and I'd ask, the first question I ask is, do you have a mentor? Or do you have somebody you trust and someone that can help guide you? Because if you have somebody like that as a colleague or as a confidant, that is huge, right? They can help you think through and talk through a lot of the landmines or the things that you have to go through in an organization, and also coach you and pep talk you in a way where it's not all doom and gloom, right? Just hang in there. This project might be difficult, but you'll get there. Or, oh, the guy or woman that you're working for, I used to work for them, and you know what? Here's the 3 things that they actually like from the people that work with them or for them, right? So to find a mentor early in your career, I believe is critical. Now, look, if you can't find somebody that works in the organization, then perhaps there's a college professor, or there's somebody that's in your family who is in a similar industry but has more experience than you, and you can say, hey, can I run a couple things by you? I'm struggling with this situation at work. What would you do, right? So again, it's all about relationships. It's all about finding the right people that can help support you. And a lot of people are fortunate enough to have strong support systems at home. So it doesn't hurt to ask your parents or siblings or people like that as well.
So let's talk about how hiring a career consultant and or having a mentor can really accelerate professional growth.
Yeah, it can, because what I believe it can do, and from a lot of my experiences, think about it as it's the cheat code, right? It's actually, you're getting tips and real life examples on how you can move up the corporate ladder, right? You're not gonna, ascend, day one, but if you can get through a lot of the loopholes and a lot of the challenges early in your career and demonstrate a lot of those, competencies that I always talk about, which is resiliency and agility. And, I'm not going to take no for an answer, but I'm not going to be a bull in the china shop. At the same time, I'm actually going to be thoughtful around how I can move forward in my career. If you can get some of those tips and strategies and tips and tricks, I should say, early in your career, it'll really help. Because think about it on the other side. If your manager or colleague or the CFO and you're 4 rungs below the CFO and you're making a presentation, if you work on your presentation skills, and most financial people are just numbers people and they're great at analytics and numbers, but if you could do that and communicate, well, guess what? That's the CFO. So then they see that potentially translate into somebody that they may want to put on a fast track, or they may want to mentor, they might want to put into a high potential program. So those are some of the things that I think you should do early in your career, is find that person that can help you, move up the corporate ladder, again, with some really strong tips and tricks.